What are your plans in aiding the mentally ill, and what are your plans from a federal and state level to help this plan along? This question is from District 231.
I'd like to thank District 231 for asking this question. In the previous debate, I have noted that the gun issue should not be an issue of regulation, but of prevention. And prevention in the case that those who are not mentally fit to have guns shouldn't have access to them because they cause a great threat to the public and to themselves. To combat this recent emergence of large gun violence, rather than enforcing stricter regulation on gun control, we'd like background checks to be more thorough, and we'd like coordination between mental health institutions and behavioral hospitals to help seek and make sure that those individuals that do need that care receive it, and receive it at the right time so we can prevent any catastrophes.
Thank you. Does anyone have anything else to add?
Oh, yeah. Jakub, you said in your previous debate that it's people's choice if they want health care or not. So if you want to help the mentally ill, what if they don't have health care? How are you going to help them?
Mental health is something that does fall under health care, but please realize that the health care that we are offering is that by not forcing everyone to have health care, the private companies have to compete with the people who always have the choice of just saying no to health care. And in that case, there will be more competition, prices will be lower, and there will be better deductibles and better coverage. So by not forcing people to have health care, you introduce this competition, and that actually allows lower prices than if you actually forced everyone to have health care.
But what if this mentally ill patient doesn't have any money? What if he's poor? He can still steal a gun from somewhere. He can still shoot up a building. So
I believe that's a little bit beyond the issue of, that's more of a theft issue and a crime issue than an access to health issue, Kirtan.
But you say you don't want to make stricter gun control laws, then you're not going to help the mentally ill who are really poor.
At this time, I'm going to ask if any of the other candidates have anything to add.
You have to remember that with mentally ill patients, most of the time, they don't think that there's anything wrong. They don't realize that there's anything wrong. They don't go for help. How are you going to help them that way?
Also, you have no funding and planning put in place to help this. You assume that people will just help themselves, but there's a certain time and place where you need to step in and be able to provide these services for people, not just because they put money into it. And I don't think you addressed that.
Well, again, with these background checks, we will be able to notify these people that need that mental health and the help. That is the whole point of the gun issue.
Yes, but that's gun control. What about mentally ill just in general?
That's beyond the gun control question right now.
The question was about
It wasn't a
mentally ill,
question.
not about gun
Candidates,
control.
thank you for elaborating, but I'm afraid we have to move on. Mr. Erickson, this question comes to you from several citizens of District 232. If you aren't willing to help the immigrants who are here illegally, with the majority of our constituents being of various Hispanic backgrounds, why should we vote for you?
Well, you should vote for me because I am for these, for immigrants and for all citizens, America and beyond. I think there's a misconception out there that I'm not for certain people or certain races, and that is a lie. My brother-in-law actually is a recent immigrant from the Dominican Republic, and he is a current green card worker, and I love him more than anything, and he came to this country legally and such. There's currently over 11 million illegal immigrants that are living in this country right now. And I really just have two questions for those people. First question is, A, do you want to work in this country? And B, do you want to be an American citizen? And if you answer yes to both of those questions, then the ECHO Party will make sure that there is a place for you in this country.
Thank you. I now open this question up to our other three candidates.
You say you want to deport criminals. What constitutes a criminal? A 10-year-old stealing candy?
No, I want to deport illegal criminals and gang members. Let's elaborate on
Yes,
that.
what constitutes a criminal?
If they're charged and convicted of a crime, especially being illegal, they're not helping the American people or the American citizens in any way. If they're not doing anything good for this country, why should they be here?
And what about for illegal immigrants who come here, have children in the country who are now legal? What will you do with the children?
Well,
The parents are deported.
let me go back to what I said before. I have two questions for people that are currently illegal. A, do you want to be American? And B, do you want to work here? And we will find a spot for you in this country if you answer yes to both of those questions. So I think that's well addressed.
Do any of the other candidates have anything to add?
Yeah, Zach, you said in your platform that you're going to give illegal immigrants 1 year to prove themselves if they're worthy. I don't think-
Actually, I don't say that. That's the Foxtrot Party that says that.
And then how long do you give the immigrants to become citizens then?
I can't hear what the question is.
Okay, you give illegal immigrants 1 year to prove themselves worthy. There's about 10 million immigrants right now. How are you going to help them in 1 year? That's unrealistic, in my opinion.
Well, as Zach has said, we want people here who are willing to work and who want to contribute to the society. We want to make it easier and make it more a background check, and if you don't have any criminal background, and if you don't have any bad background like that, then we want you to become a citizen and contribute.
Yeah, but 1 year is pretty quick. You can't have 10 million immigrants applying for citizenship in just 1 year. You can't.
Exactly.
do that.
You have 11 million illegal immigrants here, and I don't understand how you're going to get enough money to be able to cover every single person before that 1 year's up. And then what's going to happen? 7 million people are going to be deported because they didn't even have the opportunity to get citizenship?
We're not advocating for deportation, but we're making it so that we're promoting legal immigration and promoting people to sign up to become citizens.
All right, thank you, candidates. Our next question goes out to all of our candidates. This is from District 231. Will gun laws place more restrictions on those who can have a gun? Mr. Patel, let's start with you.
Okay, I'd like to thank the district for this question. For gun control, I think we should have a little stricter regulations because even with our current gun control laws, there are still shootings being happened every year or every couple months. So what I would want to do is protect the Second Amendment for the right to bear arms, but there should be some regulations on that. We should strengthen background checks so people with the mentally ill won't be able to obtain these guns. And we should also check for photo ID, and they should pass a gun safety test so that we can trust them that you can use these guns properly.
Thank you.
I'd also like to thank the district for addressing this question. As I mentioned earlier, we want to have better background checks, more thorough background checks, to make sure that the mentally ill do not get their hands on these guns. In terms of just people who have guns right now, we would not enforce a mandatory background check, but all new people that would be gaining guns and would be applying for gun permits would have to go through those background checks.
Thank you.
We want to keep gun control as it is for the most part, but there is one regulation we want to impose, and that is requiring people to take a gun safety class. Such as this idea stems from the same idea as driver's ed, where a gun safety class will teach the serious responsibilities that come with owning a gun, just as driver's ed teaches the responsibilities of owning a car and driving a car. We also want to recommend that every person in the household participates in a course such as this.
Thank you.
The Echo Party fully believes in supporting the Second Amendment right to bear arms. I personally have shot rifles, black powder rifles, and shotguns in my life, and it's a lot of fun. And everybody should have the right to do this, however responsibly. And I do believe that we should increase the amount of background checks that we put in place to people that have guns. However, there should not be an increase in the regulations and the people who can own guns, because it's not a question of gun issue. Or it's not a question of gun control. It's a question of people obtaining these guns illegally and doing things that are immoral.
Thank you. Well, this concludes our second segment for the 2014 Town Hall debate. We will be right back after this short commercial break.
Hi, I'm Tori Hodak. I am from the Echo Party, and I would like to thank Matt for having me today.
We're going to be asking her a few questions. So, Tori, how do you feel your campaign's been going?
I think our campaign's going pretty good. I mean, we're doing everything we're asked to do, and everyone supports Zach and his opinion, and we're a strong group of people, and we're something to be reckoned with.
Who do you think your strongest opponent is?
Probably Yakub, as of right now, because as you watch the debates, you can see that them two go at it, because they both have very strong ideals, and they have great commercials, and they also work together great as a team.
Okay. What's the biggest struggle your party has overcome this campaign?
Biggest struggle. We haven't really had many struggles. We always manage to work things out. If anything, the biggest struggle is just finding time to get together, film a commercial, and make sure that we're promoting everything as best as we can. But I mean, I think we've overcome it pretty good.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for having me, Matt.
Yep.